Hello, friends. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here today. We are going to make a delicious recipe, and it is my spaghetti, okay? And it's different than how other people make it. I'm going to tell you right now, because a lot of people just have their pasta, spaghetti noodles at the bottom and then put their sauce on top. I mix everything together, and your noodles absorb the sauce, and it is wonderful. So I'm going to start with some olive oil in my pan, and I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil in here to cook everything in. And then the next thing I'm going to do is add my dry spices, okay? I used to put my meat in and then put all my dry spices on top. Well, I was losing half the flavor because you rehydrate them by actually cooking them in your olive oil before you add your meat. So this is basil. So I'm going to sprinkle some basil in my pan. And I can already smell that basil coming to life. And then I'm also going to add my Italian seasoning and sprinkle that in. And it really isn't, oh, see, as soon as this hit that olive oil, the aroma is incredible. So I'm just going to stir this around. Then to that, I'm going to add my garlic and let that come up with the rest of this. And then this garlic is going to be so wonderful in here. Oh my goodness, you guys, if you could smell this. Oh, we haven't even begun and it smells wonderful already. Oh my word. You smell that basil and the Italian seasoning and this roasting garlic. Oh my word, so good. Okay, so to that, I'm going to add 1 pound of ground beef, okay? And I always like to use the 80-20 because I know a lot of people use leaner cuts, and that's okay if that's what you use. But I like the 80-20 because that fat in the meat actually gives your dish more flavor. So I'm all about the 80-20. So I'm adding that in here with our other seasonings. And then to that, I'm adding 1 package of mild Italian sausage that I have removed the casings from, okay? So I just took the casings off and I'm adding that Italian sausage right in. Now, if you were going to get some Italian sausage from your butcher that's not in the casing, then you could do that too. But I actually got it today in the casing, so I removed the casing. Okay, so I'm just mashing that all up. And let me tell you guys a little tip. So if you're using 80-20 ground beef and you see that the chuck roast is on special, you can buy the chuck roast cheaper per pound this week and ask the butcher to grind it for you. So you might go in and the chuck roast this week is $3.99 a pound, but the ground beef 80-20 is $6.99 a pound. Well, go ahead and buy the chuck roast and let your butcher grind it for you, and you'll save a few bucks, and you can thank me later. Okay? All right, so here we go. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my salt to my meat. Just put a good amount of salt in there. Okay? Oh, you guys, this smells so good. I'm telling you, if you any dry spice that you use like that, once you start rehydrating them and you realize the difference that it makes in your dishes, you'll always rehydrate. And this smells so good. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and dump in my onions, and this is 1 whole onion diced up. And you guys know how I like good vegetables and things, but these are going to be cooked. And then I'm going to go ahead and add, this is 1 green bell pepper chopped. And I will tell you, if you can find the bags of frozen bell peppers, it's a lot cheaper, and also you know, why are you going to buy a whole pack of bell peppers? You're not going to use them all before they go bad, right? So if you're cooking the bell pepper anyway, you could go ahead and just get the frozen bags and just take out as much as you need. Again, it's not like it's going in a salad that you have to have the crunch. It's going to get cooked out anyway. And this is one red bell pepper. And I'm using fresh because they didn't have the frozen today. Oh my goodness, you guys. This smells so good already. Okay, so I'm letting all these vegetables cook down with the meat. And these bell peppers are going to help season this meat even more. And they're going to take on the flavor of these peppers and onions and garlic and all the goodness. Oh yes, this is going to be so good. And I'll tell you, spaghetti is one of those things that, you know, if you don't finish it all in one day, it's always better the next day. It's another one of those things that the longer it sets up, sometimes the more flavor it has. It's like pizza, right? A lot of people say pizza's better the next day and people eat it cold. I don't like cold pizza. I barely like pizza, so it has to be hot and good and fresh, but you won't find me eating cold pizza, that's for sure. I mean, if that's all we had to eat, then maybe I would. But nah, not interested. So, okay, so this is all cooking up here. And then once all this meat is completely done, then I'm going to add my sauce. Now, I will tell you, you can buy, as we all know, you can buy, there's Barilla, there's Classico, there's Ragu. There's so many different brands of spaghetti sauce that you can buy in the jar. And those are all good. But you guys, I have to tell you, my favorite is this Hunt's spaghetti sauce in the can. And ever since I've tried this one, I have not bought, I used to buy Classico and Ragu and all that. I have never bought them again since I've tried this. I don't know what it is, but the flavor in here is so good. And to me, it doesn't have like a really strong tomato-y taste, maybe. I guess that's the best way to describe it. I don't know. And then because I put so much garlic and onions and bell pepper in my meat, and then I'm using Italian sausage, which is flavored. Once I pour this sauce over here and just let it all simmer, oh, the flavor is ridiculous. It's so, so good. Oh, you guys, this smells so wonderful. I wish you were all here for dinner tonight because this makes a huge pot. And I'm going to be using 1 pound of spaghetti. So I'll be cooking my noodles up and I'll be using 1 pound. And when I'm cooking my pasta, I put vegetable oil in the water as well as some salt, okay? I go ahead and salt it. And then when I drain it off, I'm going to leave a little bit of the pasta water in the pot. I'm not going to fully drain my noodles completely. And the reason for that is because I add a lot of cheese to my spaghetti. And if it's dry, it's just going to stick to your pot or your spoon or whatever. So I leave a little bit of that pasta water in there to help keep it wet, if you will. And then I add all my cheese in there and stir it up. And you'd think I was making, you know, macaroni and cheese or something. But it is delicious. So you're going to love it. So let me go ahead now. And I think this meat, because this is going to simmer too for a while here. So, but it looks like it's coming around. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my spaghetti sauce to the meat and then just let that cook down. And I'm not adding any water or anything to this other than, you know, my pasta water will be in with my spaghetti noodles. But in this, I'm just adding this can of sauce directly into my meat. And then I'm just going to let this cook down and simmer for a bit. You're going to want to put a lid on your pot because you know this will pop all over your stove and your floor and everywhere else. We'll come back and add our noodles to it once it's had time to set up. Our pasta is done and I've drained it and left a little bit of the water in it. Okay, so now I'm just going to ladle over some of the sauce. And you guys, I'm telling you, this sauce smells amazing. Like, you can smell the garlic and you can smell the Italian seasoning and the basil and the bell pepper. Oh my word. It smells so good. Okay, and then I'm just going to wet my pasta with this just to kind of coat it a little bit. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and put in my cheddar cheese. Okay, and I like to put in a lot of cheese in here, so I'm going to put some of that, and then I'm going to put some mozzarella on top of that, and then I'm just going to stir that in. You know what, I'm going to use this other spoon for that. I'm just going to stir that cheese in with the sauce. Oh, you guys, it smells heavenly. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add more sauce. Now, some people like a ton of sauce, like Randy, you can't put enough sauce on spaghetti for him. Me, I don't like a ton of sauce. I like my pasta a little bit drier, so there's a ton of extra sauce that he can put over the top of his. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of my mozzarella cheese, and then I'm going to add the rest of the cheddar cheese in here, and then just stir that in with the sauce and the noodles. And there we go. Okay, and this does make a lot of sauce, so you know you can add more to the top of your bowl if you want to, or with your leftover would be wonderful meatball sandwiches. So you guys could do that too if you wanted to. So let's serve us up some of our spaghetti. Oh my goodness, you guys, look at that cheese. Oh my goodness. Amazing. This looks so good. So there we go. There is our bowl served. You can see how cheesy that is. And again, if you want to add a scoop of sauce on top of this, you can, but I'm not going to. But let me get a fork. Just smelling this, I mean, and looking at it, it is so good. The flavor is crazy good. I know it. I just feel it. Okay. Oh my word. Oh my word, you guys. I kid you not. This is bomb. Delicious. So good. It smells wonderful in here with all this wonderful goodness. So go get yourself some nice Texas toast and a nice green salad to serve alongside of this. And you guys, there's dinner. And it's delicious. And guess what? You didn't have to go out to get it. But go make this. You guys will love it. I love you guys. Have a blessed day. And we'll be seeing you really soon. I love you guys.